welcome to part 5 of the Super Back to the Future Suit commentary. And now we actually get to hear one of the best tracks in the entire game, which is the 1955 track of Back to the Future 2. I don't know why I just stuttered there. But nevertheless, this track is actually the most memorable of the entire game. In my opinion, anyway. It's the most upbeat, sort of like smooth jazz on crack. It's even better than Nyan Cat in smooth jazz form. That's another story for another time. Now, honestly, I think they got the opening for this track from the character selecting from Super Mario Kart. And as we all know, Super Mario Kart is the reason why we have a lot of go-kart games, such as Sonic Drift, and, I don't know any other titles aside from that. This is probably a reason why Sonic requires car insurance, but I digress. But yeah, this track is definitely the most memorable. You get to hear it twice, I think. World 5.1 and 5.2, I believe. Aside from that, this segment is actually going to be very short, only because I cannot for the life of me beat 5.3. Not yet, anyway. And to those wondering, yes, this title, this is actually a blind LP. I watched this after watching James Wolfe's episode of the Angry Video Game Nerd, episode 94, which he was just revisiting all of his Nintendo nerd days and all of Back to the Future. And he mentioned this game at the very end, and I was like, hey, this seems like an awesome game. So what I decided to do is I decided to download it off of, I forget which site I went to, but I downloaded the game. I had tested it out. I practiced lesson mode for about 10 minutes, and then I actually started the game. And then I noticed it goes along with the entire storyline. I'm loving this game as it is. I'm loving all the remixes of the Back to the Future theme, even though it does get a bit repetitive after a while. I love this game. Oh, is that a bit of a grammar error? I love this game. Oh, I think I'm becoming Clement here. But yeah. Anyway, about the stage, World 5.1 has a very tricky spike segment, which you're about to see coming up in a few. And apparently you get to see a lot of Ryu from Street Fighter designs. Well, of course, this is a Toshiba EMI game. It's not a Capcom game, so, I don't know if Capcom would like to have lawsuits up the anus for having a Ryu design in a Toshiba game. But nevertheless, this stage is pretty much the most difficult. I feel that Michael J. Fox would actually have a better time getting through the stage if he had more than 3 hits. I don't know. I've never seen an upgrade like... You might have noticed these little soda can things that, or whatever, that I've been going around and destroying. These give you power-ups, and depending on how much coins you have, obviously, then you're able to get that power-up. There are ones that'll increase your speed by like 20%, ones that'll enhance your jump a little bit by like about 15%, from what I've noticed anyway. Some people may say otherwise on that. Some give you invincibility, some will double your coin increase. It's sort of like Fantasy Zone, except that the items are actually there and you don't have to go to a shop for them. That's the best reference I can get. Now, sadly though, there is not anything in this game where you can actually give yourself like a 4th or 5th hit. You have just those 3 hits. And I find it rather annoying that Michael J. Fox actually has a hard time having the ability to dodge in this game. I mean, he doesn't have the ability to duck. He's always on the hoverboard. I mean, he could duck if he wanted to, but then... Well, alright. Tired. But yeah, but then if you think of it, if he bended down while on the hoverboard, I mean, since these are like the very earliest hoverboards, 2015 logic, I'm figuring that it would do the same thing as a skateboard and actually push you forward. Because I know that when you bend down on a skateboard, it'll push you forward, so I'm figuring that's what would happen with a hoverboard. I'm figuring that's why they didn't bother putting in the ducking feature. But still, I mean, the jump is actually pretty over-abused. The dash ability. In fact, there are even cases where you don't even need to use the dash ability by holding down, I believe it's the B button. It's either the B or the Y button. But nevertheless, when you hold down that dash button, you can actually go at a faster speed, as I have been doing this whole time. If you don't have that dash button held down, you can actually go at a faster pace. You can sort of, like, you'll start slow and then you'll speed up, sort of like how Sonic the Hedgehog does it. But, of course, that game, the two games are different, but they have major similarities in terms of physics. The question is, though, where did the 3-hit system come from? Because I know that Rystar, which came out in 1995, 2 years after this game, it used the same hit system. I think I mentioned this in part 2, but still, it does confuse me a bit. Did Sega get the idea of the hit point system from this game? But nevertheless, I believe we're in 5.2 right now. I'm recording this like behind the scenes, and not even watching the footage. But if we are in 5.2, there is this big cutscene, not big cutscene, there's this big segment coming up where Michael J. Fox has to avoid a whole bunch of soda cans that apparently people are drinking soda out of and tossing them into this big old ditch where I don't even know what's going on here. But nevertheless, you have to use the cans to get up there. I have a question. Why? How can there be so much soda that they're drinking that it, in fact, is crazy enough for them to even, like... How can they sustain all that soda? It's insanity. Trust me. But nevertheless, I was about to talk about World 5.3. 5.3 is sort of an endless loop, and here's why I'm saying this. Now, in the beginning of 5.3, which I won't show in this video, obviously, because as I said, I can't beat the game unless if I know how to beat this stage. 5.3 has these 3 switches in the beginning. You have to press the correct switches. If you press all 3 of them down like I've been doing, I've been noticing that I end up in a dead end. There's no way to beat the stage. No, there's no way to beat the stage. So, the only question is, what switches am I supposed to press? Am I supposed to press 1 and 2, 1 and 3, or 2 and 3? Or 1 alone, 2 alone, 3 alone? I don't know, but no matter what, it will change your path. It will make the level that much more difficult if you hit the wrong switch, and you can't reset the switches. So what I've been having to do is I've been having to do some rehearsal with this particular stage. I'm going to have to try and see if there's anything I can do with it. This stage will probably be the end of me, but it's only this stage, 5.4, 6.1, and 6.2. So no matter what, the game is almost over. And part 6 will be the final segment. I probably may not get back to it until after I figure out how to beat 5.3. But until then, I shall see you for part 5 of Super Donkey Kong Country, because that game needs to be finished up. I mean, I'm already in the factory stage. I've only got like one more world to go after that, plus the King K. Rool battle. I'll try and see if I can cram it all up in one single segment, but yeah, whatever. And I think I actually made some progress with this segment, to be honest. I'm happy. And see you in part 5 of Super Donkey Kong Country.